What's up, everybody? Long time no see. It's been a better part of a year and a half, actually, since I've been on camera talking to one. Feels weird to say. The rapid acceleration of time as you get older is nothing short of predominant. Actually, I was convinced I was never going to do this again at all. That's still kind of my plan, but somebody left a comment on a video recently. I don't know if you've noticed this, but my YouTube channel, right down to the username, seems to have been completely scrubbed from the internet. It appears as if I have removed all of my videos, deleted everything, wiped myself off the face of the internet landscape. And in a way, that's true, but not in the way that you might think. I don't know why that bothered me so bad, but it did. Bothered me enough to give you guys an explanation. I've been thinking about doing this for the better part of a week now. My logic at first was I don't owe anybody anything, the least of which some faceless commenter that I don't know. But I've spent literally my entire adult life, even before that. I started making YouTube videos when I was 16, 17 years old. I'm 36 now. I spent that time with you. So maybe I do owe you a little bit of an explanation. So here it is. I decided to stop focusing on my creativity as a way to make a living about 3 years ago. And, it's the same story as most creative people, I think. It's just not valued enough unless you commodify it. And the second you do that, you lose your artistic license anyway, in my opinion. The internet has made art less of an engaged medium as a whole, no matter what craft you do. And it's turned it into a much more passive one. In terms of music, people no longer listen to albums. A lot of bands that I follow and enjoy don't even release albums anymore. They just release singles because no one listens to albums. Everyone has curated playlists. The algorithms on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook decide what you get to see based on things that you've already seen. And everything becomes an echo chamber where you're not thinking about anything that you're participating in or ingesting. I know that sounds like an old man yelling at the clouds, but I truly believe in my heart that that's the case. Which sucks for me, selfishly speaking, because as a creative person, when I was 16, 17 years old, I really thought that anybody could make a living making art, because who doesn't enjoy some kind of art form? You have to be completely soulless and lifeless to not enjoy art at all. I've met people that don't. I don't fucking trust them. So I paid my dues, I lived in squalor. I've been homeless. I scraped by with nothing for a long time. And I missed out on a lot of normal people things by doing that, but I thought it was something that had to be done in order to eventually make a career out of it. But 1 year of doing that turned into 2, turned into 3, turned into 4, turned into 10, turned into 15. And eventually I just reached a point where I felt like, okay, I've paid my dues now. And by the time that I paid them, and this is the most unfortunate thing of all, I suddenly felt like I ran out of things to say. I'd covered everything that I'd ever hoped to cover. I'd written everything I'd ever hoped to write. I'd taken photos of damn near everything I'd ever wanted to photograph. And then it just stopped feeling like art at all. It became laborious. The worst part happened earlier this year when Donald Trump was elected president for the second time. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for that. And it seemed like overnight, all of my original fears, when I first started doing this, it seemed to have wrapped itself around, and I was right back to where I was when I was that 16 to 17-year-old kid. This new generation that's coming up is even more conservative than my boomer parents' generation was. I don't know if it's just because I started to search for things like that, but I kept seeing artists trying to do their thing, trying to make stuff, and the comments were like awful. They were horrifying. It's a bunch of 16 to 17-year-old kids that don't know shit about existence yet, making fun of young creative types, saying things like, time to get a real job. as if these creative people are not putting the work in. Admittedly, it was somewhat traumatizing for me because I looked at those creative kids and I saw myself. Not only did I see myself and their efforts to become the artist that they want to be, but I saw myself and their constant need to justify their creativity. To tell people I am working, I'm trying to be an artist. That's what I want to do. And you have all these conservative dickheads. And that, I'm sorry, like I know they're kids, but they're fucking assholes. And it shouldn't come as a surprise to me because a lot of my peers are assholes too. But it just became so apparent to me that by and large, people don't really care about art. At least not enough to justify letting your whole life be consumed by it. I can't tell you how many relationships I've had fail because I wasn't making enough money. I can't tell you how much my life tangibly improved when I stopped focusing on art and I started to just do normal people shit. Probably too late in some instances, but long story short, I started to view art as the very thing that held me back to begin with. I started to think, did I ever really need this to begin with? Have I suffered for nothing? Like, how foolish am I? And also, how arrogant am I to think that anything that I had to say was worth saying anyway to begin with? Even doing this right now kind of feels like I'm masturbating a little bit. Just does. I'm filleting my ego. And in a way, I probably am. And it all coalesced during Trump's inauguration. When I looked behind him and I saw the same tech billionaires that own the exact same companies that I have spent years trying to establish myself on, backing this fascist. And I'm sorry, but that's what he is. He's a fucking fascist. Mango Mussolini. Because how in good faith can I continue to use these platforms that I think are falsely causing a global shift in the narrative on how we view creative people? These same people that have helped to make art a passive medium. In many ways, it's their fault. And I realized I couldn't do it anymore. So literally that night, I deleted my Facebook. I deleted my Instagram. I deleted everything besides TikTok, really, and Snapchat, because I can talk to my family and friends on there. Those are the only two things I have left. I didn't delete my videos on my YouTube channel, but I did private them. Admittedly, I had already done that months beforehand because YouTube occasionally just gets a wild hair up their ass and they'll delete 10 or 15 of my videos for no reason, and I got sick of losing them. So I just privatized them. And if I'm being completely transparent, I don't really want the second half of my life to be navigated on a shaky foundation. And a lot of that stuff, while I'm proud of it, is not who I want to be in the second half. I'm a creative person. That's not ever going to go away. I don't want it to. But my constant need to have an audience, to share, to get feedback, I don't think that was healthy for me. And I think it gave me an impossible set of goals that I was never going to reach. And even if I had reached them, I wouldn't have known that I did because they would change the goalposts the second I got there. I don't blame anybody else for my decisions. They're mine. And I own them. But I think moving forward, I want to go back to being that 16 to 17-year-old kid. The one that existed before YouTube. When I was just in a room making shit because I felt like I needed to do it. I didn't know why. There was just an itch in me that I had to scratch. I think that was the last time, actually, that I was a happy person. I think I've spent my entire adulthood misanthropic, depressed, anxious, nervous constantly, and on edge for nothing. None of this is real. So that's what I've been spending my time doing. I don't think you guys are going to hear much from me anymore. I'll post little jams and stuff that I do on TikTok for as long as it exists anyway. But I don't want to make stuff for anybody anymore. I put my time in. I did it. I want to go back to just making it for myself. I do want to say that I appreciate all the support over the years, and I appreciate the people that have enjoyed my work and the ones that considered it work. That did give me a sense of purpose. It gave me a sense of belonging that right now I'm still struggling with because I don't feel like I belong anywhere else yet. But I'm working at it. And I don't think that anything that I've dedicated myself to was a waste, as much as I just kind of want my life to take a different course. And I don't think being chronically online is healthy for anybody. Most of which me, obviously. So, bon voyage. It's been real. But this ain't real.